right. I finished watching Stranger Things Season 3 a few days ago. Me and my wife watched the entire season like we do every year, and now I'm here ready to talk about it. So let's get into Season 3. Here we go.
Boy Reviews!
All right, welcome back to the Board Review YouTube channel. We're talking about TV today because, just like movies, I love TV. And let's go back a few years ago when Stranger Things Season 1 came out. I remember I was on Facebook and my brother Chris had posted something about the show called Stranger Things and that people should try it out. So I watched the first few episodes, absolutely loved it. I thought it was very inventive, very creative. The look and the sound was really cool, so I told my wife about it, rewatched those together, and we watched the whole season like many of you in a day or two. It was fantastic. Loved every bit of it. Was obsessed with all the characters. Well, not obsessed, but I loved all the characters. And then we got the trailer for Season 2. The next year, I believe it was coming out in Halloween. I loved that 3-minute trailer. I still love watching it to this day. It's so much fun. The music infused with the different images of what was coming. Was super excited for Season 2. And like a lot of you, I think I've been hearing, I did not love Season 2 as much as Season 1. I didn't hate it, but I was really let down. I was on that super big high with Season 1, and then I was brought down a little bit with Season 2. Everyone talks about the Lost Sister episode. I appreciate what the Duffers were doing with that, but I myself did not like the episode either. I didn't like all the stuff with Eleven's mom. I thought it was boring. But Season 2 was still better than most shows. And then Season 3 trailer came out, and it was a little underwhelming for me. I wasn't sure how to expect it. I thought maybe it would go even more downhill. I don't know, but I'm going to give you my thoughts right now about Season 3. It's going to be completely non-spoiler. I will throw a bunch of spoilers near the end, so if you haven't seen it yet, or you haven't seen all of it yet, just don't watch it when I give you the spoiler warning. So Season 3, how did it rank in my opinion with the other two seasons? I absolutely love Season 3. I think it is a big improvement from Season 2. I don't think it's as good as Season 1, but I believe that Season 3 has so much more of the things that I love from Season 1 in it that it seemed like a true Season 2. I will still take Season 2. I'm not discarding that. I don't think it's bad, but Season 3 is a fantastic season. Now, it starts off really slow. The first 2 episodes were not my favorite. Me and my wife were watching it with my brother, the same brother who told me about it in the very first place a few years ago. We were watching it, and it was kind of clunky. It was kind of goofy. It was not my favorite. Going into it with those first 2 episodes, I got really, really nervous. But then it started to pick up in the 3rd and especially the 4th episode. And that seems crazy for a season that has 8 episodes, for me to love it so much where it doesn't really pick up till the 4th. But I'm telling you, from episode 4 and on, those last 5 episodes are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It is the Stranger Things that I fell in love with. The characters are awesome. They introduced some new characters like Robin and Erica and some bad guys. You got these Russians who are all over the top, depicted the same way they're depicted in the 80s movies. And so, if that was a spoiler for you that's about the Russians, I'm sorry. You get introduced to that in the first 5 seconds of the first episode, so it's not really a big spoiler. But you have these Russians, they're doing these crazy secret things. The poor people of Hawkins, they have to deal through this tragedy again. And our characters are put together in this beautiful tapestry of story, and it is awesome. I really liked the jokes. I really liked the shift in tone. It goes from very, very dark to very, very scary to very lighthearted and funny. Obviously, the nostalgia with the 80s is awesome. The Starcourt Mall, where most of this season takes place, is a beautiful set piece. I really think that they created most of that. I believe that's just all on a soundstage. I'm not sure, but it looked fantastically like the 80s. It looked fantastic in its own right. I love when they go into certain stores. We see the Gap. I had never seen that font before for the Gap, so I thought that was kind of cool. Just so many small details make this story so fantastic. But in Season 3, we pick up from season 2. We have Eleven and we have Mike, and they love each other. And then they go through some typical young teenage love type stuff. And I thought that was done very, very well. I love what happens with Hopper. He's with Winona Ryder's character throughout most of the movie. I'm not going to get into what happens there, but they have their own little thing. Season 3 does something that's a big risk. They do something that Walking Dead has done and didn't really go over too well. They do something that many other shows I can't think of right now have done, doesn't really go over too well. They did something that The Last Jedi did that didn't go over too well. They took the characters that we love and they separate them and they put them in different groups. This group is doing this group is doing this group is doing this. And typically that's a bad move because we love these characters and we love them when they're an ensemble and they're together. But Stranger Things Season 3, the Duffer Brothers and all those people that are creating that show, they gave us 3 or 4, I believe it's 3 different groups' stories, and they're all fantastic. And as you're watching the episodes, you can't wait to get to Steve Harrington's group and what their story is going on. And then you can't wait to get to Mike and Eleven and all them and what they're doing. Then you can't wait to get to Hopper and Winona Ryder's character. Her name escapes me right now. You can't wait to get to all these different stories. And so as I'm watching each episode, I was really enthralled. I was really into it. They go really creepy. There's some really disgusting parts, which I loved. They have so much fantastic things that I was not expecting, that I really love this show. I really love this season. And so for Stranger Things Season 3, I'm going to give it an A-. It definitely deserves an A-. It is a great watch. If you're going into it a little leery like I was and you weren't sure, jump right into it. It's fantastic. Wait till you get to the end of episode 3. Wait till you get to episode 4, and it really turns it up, and it does not stop until the season ends. It's only 8 episodes, so it goes by very quickly. All right, at this point, here we go. It's going to be right here. There it is. Spoilers. Tons and tons of spoilers from here on out. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, you got to leave, and you can come back after you watch it. All right, so I just want to talk about some of my favorite things about this season in a spoiler fashion. How about we talk for just a second about the Never Ending Story song that we got in episode 8. How awesome was that? How awesome was it to be very tense and nervous about what's happening to our characters, and then they bust out this number of Never Ending Story in the most adorable fashion, where you have Dustin and you have his what we thought was make-believe girlfriend Susie, and it's awesome. YouTube already has an hour loop of that 3-minute song going over and over for an hour, and it's got like I think 1 million views already. Insane. That was fantastic, and that's what's great about Stranger Things. The entire series is they can give you something goofy that works. They can give you something goofy in a high intense moment, a battle where we think our characters might die, and it works. And it's spot on, and it's perfect, and it's inventive, and it's creative, and that's what's great about this show. I really think the Duffer Brothers really redeemed themselves from season 2, and they gave us some fantastic things. I really liked Hopper's story. I really, really felt bad for him. I really was rooting for him to get with Winona Ryder's character, and what happens to him at the end, I was not expecting it. I was not happy about it, but I do not believe it. So this is a huge spoiler. If you're still watching, this is a huge spoiler right now. Hopper dies. Okay? I'm putting that up there because I don't think he's dead. But we see him there for one moment, and then we don't see him the next moment. In sci-fi, anyone can come back to life, even if they've died before. There's no rules with sci-fi. Anyone can come back. They can bring him back any other way. But we never see ashes on the floor. I didn't see a flesh ball on the floor. I didn't see any remains of his. And then if you watch that last credit scene, it's not really too far into the credits when the season's over. We get into what it looks like, I think it's Russia, they tell us. And they go down, it's like a little dungeon thing. And they have these 2 doors. And they say, no, not the American's door, the other door. And they do something with this guy where they give him the Demogorgon, which was pretty cool. But the American, I feel obviously that's got to be Hopper. I can't see them killing off that character. He is fantastic. David Harbour, who plays that character, this is his character. This is his niche. He's done a fantastic job with it. What else did I like? I really liked the story with Billy. He was super annoying in the second season. He was so over the top. I really liked his character. I liked his story. I thought his acting was fantastic. Really liked Nancy's story and Jonathan's story. I thought they were fantastic. I thought Nancy was out of control. She was awesome. She was kicking butt and she wasn't afraid and she was busting out that shotgun. They were fantastic. She has turned into one of my favorite characters, and I didn't think that was going to happen. She was awesome. You really feel for other characters. I keep wanting to call him Noah. Will Byers, played by an actor named Noah, I believe. His acting when he was very upset and he was frustrated, that was great. I was not a huge fan of what he did with Mike. I thought he came off like kind of like a punk, to be honest with you. There's other words I can choose to use, but I'm not going to use them. But he came off like a punk. I understand what they were doing with the story, but he just came off annoying to me, so I wasn't a big fan of that. I really liked Max's character. She's great. Eleven's character is my favorite. But with this season, I felt like she was just okay. She wasn't bad. She had some good moments. But I do like how they took her out of the equation when it came to her powers that last episode. Maybe the last two episodes. I think it was the last episode where she wasn't able to use her powers. I liked how they did that because it was coming off as too easy. I wasn't feeling the tension because she would just show up there and destroy whoever she had to destroy. So I thought that was a good move. I'm not exactly sure how she lost her powers because that flesh thing was inside her leg that made her lose her powers. I don't know. But I really, really liked that. And so for me, that kind of saved her story arc. And my brother mentioned it, but I'd have to watch season 2 again. But I want to say that her ability to communicate in English got worse in season 3. Let me know if I'm wrong by that. But it sounded like she was doing her best impression of a Russian accent and someone who's learning English from a different language like Russia. And I feel like she digressed in her ability to speak. Again, it's only 8 months since the last one, but her communication should have improved quite a bit in that time. And it seemed like she digressed. So that was kind of weird for me. But I love Dustin's character. I really, 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 really like Steve Harrington in this show. He has grown to be probably my favorite, if not my second favorite character behind 11. I have so many favorite characters in this show, but Steve Harrington's story with Dustin and with Robin and Erica was fantastic. I love the My Little Pony thesis that Dustin gives to Erica when they're in that hallway. It was so crazy and so weird, but it made complete sense to me, and I loved it. I love so many things about what this show does. Again, they give you a random thing, but it works perfectly. So there you have it. Never-ending story scene. Probably the best of the entire series. Definitely season 3. But great job, Duffer Brothers. Can't wait. I know we're going to get a season 4. I don't know for sure, but I feel like, come on, it's going to happen. Can't wait for that to happen. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you love this season as much as I do. Let me know if you feel like it's much more like season 1 than season 2 was. And don't forget to like and subscribe. But until next time, adios.